good evening, good morning, good evening, and welcome people to episode 268 of Doing the Monkey. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster. As ever, I am joined by
Becky. Hello, everybody.
I'm starting to remember to leave a gap now. It's good.
The thing is, I wait for you and you wait for me, and then it gets weird.
You just go first with that. It's all good. Ian, hi.
And this week we have a triple banger, don't we? Because we're covering The Meg that we were going to cover last week, but then life got in the way. Me and Becky couldn't see it, so we're covering it this week now. But then we were always going to cover The Equalizer 2 because it's The Equalizer 2. So we're covering that as well this week, and we've decided to sort of introduce a new feature, which I think we've decided we've not really decided if we're going to do it every week or if we're going to do it sort of sporadically and dot it around
on a semi-regular basis.
On a semi-regular, in that where we're going to do a retro review. The winner of our poll was Red Sonja, but you can't get hold of it legally on streaming services or even to buy on iTunes or Amazon.
As we're all law-abiding citizens.
As we're all law-abiding citizens, and we're all digital all the time. Nowadays, we don't buy physical.
I'm quite happy about physical. This is on you.
All right, and Becky won't. But interesting enough, weirdly enough, hopefully before the end of this week, there should be a piece on the website which kind of links into this a little bit that I'm writing at the moment. And also, Ian's got a review of Black Klansman on there, which we'll be covering next week. So I'm plugging the website. I'll do it a bit later again. So we went for the number 2 spot on it, which was taken by Joe Carnahan's The Grey, which is interesting because Joe Carnahan is he's a big favourite of the show. And also, this was both Martin and Ian's number 1 film of the first year that we started doing the Monkey.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. And the thing is, neither was new, because Ian, obviously, at the time, was still doing 35mm Heroes, and they recorded that show and released it, and I didn't listen to it, because I didn't want Ian's list to influence me. And so I had no idea it was The Grey at all.
Interesting.
So yeah,
watch for me, even though you're on system not, and I've seen it before.
So fucking intrigued to see what you think of this, Bex, because it feels like it's potentially your wheelhouse, but I could also see how it maybe could not be. Like I'm very, very. I'm fascinated in both of your opinions on all of these fucking films this week. Fascinated.
I am as well. In terms of, I think there's some good discussions to be had with these. Also, as well, we'll get into the usual tangents. I believe Ian has a tangent already and raring to go to start off with, which isn't really a tangent, because I'm going to ask him directly about it. So I don't think it can be counted as a tangent. Not a lot of trailers, but there are a couple out there. What else have we got? Well, I think we've got a question, which is a fun question we've got there.
Oh, I haven't seen the question. That's not fair. I haven't had a chance to prepare.
We're going to have a look then.
Okay.
I'll do my little spiel.
Well, you're chatting shit.
Well, I'm chatting shit.
Yeah, to be fair, back to tangent, I think you're going to have absolutely no interest in, so you probably got a good 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, is it about what I think it's about?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so we'll crack in. Before we discuss Ian's Atmos. What other news has there been? Well, the big news is the Bond news that Danny Boyle is no longer going to be directing the next Bond movie.
Are they still using the same script? Because wasn't he co-writing?
He was co-writing it. We don't know.
It was. He'd come up with a story. Spotting screenwriter John Hodge was writing the screenplay, but it looks like screenplay stuff has caused the issue from it. Like, obviously it's all really in the ether, but it seems like this was very much about Russia, specifically Russia, trying to upend Western democracy and Bond trying to stop it.
Oh.
Which, yeah, could be a bit too on the nose with the current climate, with something like Bond being as big as it is. And apparently there was some very big thing that happened in the film, which weirdly rumours are either that Bond spends a lot of time of the film in prison, or that he dies, like actually dies.
Well, that's it. I have a feeling that it could have been that Boyle wanted to kill him, and they've gone no, and vetoed that idea. And Boyle's gone, but isn't it the last one Craig's doing? Can't we just fucking kill him? And then they still want to keep the idea of this mystery about whether or not Bond is a code name or is it what is it, and all these things. I think they want to keep all that ambiguity open.
But then, how can they possibly keep that ambiguity when there's been a bajillion different people playing? It's not ambiguous. Sure, it has to be a code name, otherwise it's all just bollocks.
But there's all the life history within the film.
Yeah, which is where they've kind of dropped a bollock a little bit on this one.
Unless actually they've just changed all the names. They've gone, I better change the Bond just in case.
Well, yeah, maybe...
it's Skyfall, the climax of that takes place at his family estate in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it is his family because I mean that's the thing. It would make sense if it was just a code name, but there are things that happen in the films every now and then that do basically say that Eon Productions don't think it is, and
as well. Let's be honest, Eon Productions they've kind of got a little bit lucky in the past few, in terms of they've had a little bit of a. It's been a bit of a settled ground they've had, in terms of that. Whereas historically, they're a bit shit at getting these things out. They're a bit shit at their handling of them. The anomalies have been the past couple.
Yeah, so what? I mean, what are they essentially... What's their position on it then? That it's essentially a reboot every time the actor changes?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, that's just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because you think about it, GoldenEye, it's got fucking M reaming him out for being a misogynist dinosaur from the Cold War, which implies that at the very least Timothy Dalton's character was the same guy, but then Roger Moore to Timothy Dalton doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Connery to Roger Moore doesn't really make that any sense, and to be fair, George Lazenby didn't make any fucking sense either. But then, there was a little bit of... I remember at the start of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, it's almost referenced that maybe he'd had plastic surgery, and it's at least it's something.
The weird thing is with the Bond thing, I think the whole thing around their history and everything like that is a lot more fascinating to me personally than any of the other fucking films. I would happily watch a 2-hour documentary about the ideas of the first 19, 20 James Bond movies and about the character and stuff like that than I would ever watch one of the other fucking Bond movies.
There's one in a volcano.
I'm sure some of them are fine, but I have zero fucking interest in watching.
I seem to remember really liking
anything pre-Craig
in the volcano.
Yeah, You Only Live Twice has a climax in a Spectre base in a volcano.
I remember liking, from what I remember, I'm 99% sure I've seen them all at different points, but I remember really liking Moonraker and Octopussy, and the rest of them, that's it really. And from what I understand,
two fucking weird ones to point out as the ones you really like. Sorry.
Historically, they're the ones that everybody goes, these are the two shittest Bond movies, and I'm there going, which ones are they? Oh, I like that one.
I'm not saying they're the shittest. It's just they're not even fucking close to being the best.
Yeah.
I mean, For Russia with Love, man, that film is fucking incredible.
It probably is, and I probably need to go back and watch that. I probably do, but it's just from the ones that I remember having watched and enjoyed, it's those two that always stick out in my brain.
I don't specifically remember any of them, but I remember watching them on a Sunday afternoon with my dad because he liked Bond.
That's a weird thing, watching a Bond movie on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, it always used to be a bank holiday Monday kind of thing, didn't it? I could see it translating to a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I've always found them odd as a movie to watch during the day.
I think you have like a box. We watch on a Sunday afternoon. And they are a bit pantomime, aren't they? The earlier ones.
Yeah.
So they are a bit Sunday afternoon.
Oh, but they're great. They are great fun, though. Like I know in today's enlightened day and age, the films are problematic. But I don't know. They're set. They were made in a different They were made in a different era. Even though then again, you could say The Birth of a Nation was made in a different era. But then I don't know.
No, you're talking. No, I can. You're talking pre-war there.
Yeah.
There's a different era, and there's an entirely different global.
Okay.
What is it? Sensibility from that.
Mm.
I would seriously, if we were to just like watch a few Bond movies and talk about them, I'd be so fucking down for that. Noel wouldn't. He's made that clear in a fucking chat this afternoon.
Noel would be right. As soon as we said that, if I said right now, agree to that, Noel would be smashing his phone into a fucking couch going, no, just no.
Why does he not like them?
Noel doesn't like Bond.
Why?
Doesn't give a shit.
Because he's a sexist, misogynist dinosaur and he sees too much of himself in the character.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I don't really care who takes over, but I do think it's funny the fact that people keep on suggesting certain directors and going, yeah, but he's not going to do it. The fact that everyone went, right, they should get Nolan on the phone straight away. It's like, for a start off, Nolan famously doesn't have a fucking phone. And secondly, he's not going to do it. He's just not. He might do a Bond movie at some point. He's not going to do this Bond movie.
No, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, they have utter control over the filmmaking in these films. And Nolan, and fair play to him, would be like, me and Emma Thomas, we're going to produce this motherfucker. Like, you can be there, you know, but at the same time, if you don't like what I'm doing, I'm off. You know, which, to be fair, was kind of what Boyle was doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, talking to Brad about this last night, and he was just like, if they're actually going to do this iteration and not just fucking kibosh the whole thing, give it Martin Campbell. There'll be, like, a nice bit of fucking symmetry with it because he did Casino Royale. So start with him, end with him. Campbell can fit into place with a screenplay because, like, Neil Purvis and Robert Wade had already written a screenplay for the next Bond film, and then Boyle came in and they went with his idea. So they could just fucking retool. The only thing is, they're supposed to shoot later in the year. You would imagine they've already been locking down locations and stuff like that. So how difficult would it be if they were going to try and retrofit an old screenplay to the production work that's already been done on the Boyle one? But
then if you listen to, for instance, the Variety podcast you recommended to me, the interview with Christopher McQuarrie, where he's talking about Fallout and Rogue Nation. That's kind of how they made those. You know, they didn't have a fully written script when they went into production. And, you know, McQuarrie was basically saying that they were writing it as they were making it.
Well, the fact that they had locations, then kind of fit what they were going to do, and sequences, and they kind of fit what they were going to do into that. It's a fair point.
And then, you know, I mean, so as a little fun bit, as a not serious bit, as a little fun bit, Ian, name me a dream director to do it and a realistic possible director to do it. So
we're talking the last Craig.
Yes.
Right. Okay. You see, I think it would be, and a lot of people are going to scream, but I'd be very interested to see what like Matthew Vaughn would do.
Fair enough.
But like he's already like the Kingsman films have already kind of said the type of Bond film he would make.
Yeah.
But I would like to see the kind of the classy X-Men First Class Matthew Vaughn do a classy Bond film, not the Bond film that Kingsman was trying. I like both Kingsman films.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. I would not want the Daniel Craig Bond to be like that, but directors can make different types of films.
Yeah.
So I mean, and when I say dream, I mean like it's like because he's available now.
Yeah.
You know, like because otherwise you would be going for somebody like Christopher McQuarrie or some or like shit, man. Like, I mean, like Nolan, but then it would be like that would be his thing, probably a new Bond, all that stuff. So if we're talking a dream director who could jump into this situation, it would be somebody like him or shit. I mean, I don't know, like no, not that. Well, I was going to say David Mackenzie, but then he's like got the fucking Robert the Bruce film.
Oh, yeah.
So like he probably wouldn't be able to do that. But and then what was it? Dream director and like the Probable.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, like Martin Campbell, like I don't think he's got anything on the plate at the moment. Guy probably needs a safe hit. They know he's a safe pair of hands. He's already done 2 Bonds. It does make sense.
Yeah. Have you got a dream director, Max, who you'd like to see do it?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because anyone that you want to pick as a dream director, you want to pick it because they've got their own style and they've got their own kind of vibe. So they're going to take it in a completely different direction, and that's not really what they're wanting, is it? Really, they're wanting someone to finish off this film.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if they announced it and they said this is the person directing it, would that make you go, ooh, that's interesting? Because you're not a particularly big Bond fan.
No, I'm not, and I'm not particularly good on directors, really. Nolan would be. I'd love to see a Nolan Bond.
You see, this is it. I'm a huge Nolan fan, but I have zero interest in seeing a fucking Chris Nolan Bond film.
I know. I'd like to see what he did with it. Like, if anything's going to make a Bond movie good, it's an interesting and weird.
Well, I think it's going to be someone like Martin Campbell. It wouldn't be surprised me if Mendes didn't come back and do this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, but crap.
What?
The last one.
Spectre. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I quite Spectre.
I think I need to rewatch that. I want to rewatch all 4 of them, to be fair.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's just rewatch all of them. Sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mendes came back because of his links to A, the films, and B, because of his close relationship with Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't surprise me.
Earlier, and I don't know whether it was a joke. Actually, it might have been you involved in it, saying about Guy Ritchie. That'd be funny.
Well,
that'd be fucking amazing, just because film Twitter would explode.
Yeah,
and I'd watch the fuck out of that film.
I would as well. Yeah, but
I'd watch a Shane Black Bond as well. Like a bit irreverent and a bit like taking the piss like nice guys.
Mine would be I know he mentioned this a few years ago, but Tarantino did say that he'd have a stab at Bond, not writing it or anything like that, but just at directing it. And that would have been a fun thing to do. I don't think he'd do it now, but at the time when he said it, I think he would have done it. I'd like to see Catherine Bigelow do one.
She needs a hit as well.
She's a hit. She's in that genre. She is a safe fucking pair of hands. Also, she's and I mean this in a very nice way. She's a twat in the sense of she doesn't give a shit about giving a woman's perspective or any bullshit like that. She doesn't consider herself as a female director. She's a film director.
Can we just say that I don't think you meant like a woman's perspective was bullshit there?
No, I didn't. No, what I'm saying is she's not. She doesn't make films as a female director's perspective. She just makes films from a filmmaker's perspective.
Yeah.
And because she's said, and how did you approach the Hurt Locker from a female perspective? And she just went, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I approached it from a filmmaker's perspective.
Need more of that.
And she's directed one of the greatest action movies of all time.
Point Break?
Yeah. What?
I love Point Break. Don't get me wrong, but greatest action movie as well.
What? I didn't say the greatest, I said one of the greatest. Yes, it is. It's also one of the most iconic action movies of all time.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
If people want to and say, it's not really great, it's like, all right, but it is one of the most iconic action movies of all time.
Yeah, true that.
I haven't watched that again, actually.
What?
Point Break. I haven't watched that in a while.
We've got it on iTunes.
Nice.
Fucking love Point Break.
Yeah, date night tonight after the podcast.
Right. Ian. Gaming. What's happened to gaming, mate?
I fucked it off because it's shit.
Yes, you did. And why did you fuck it off?
Well, because
He flipped, and then he flopped. And then he flipped, then he flopped. Now he's flipped again.
I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I've exposed myself to zero gaming media over the last week or so, and it's been great. Not having it. I've been watching films. I've been not staying up until fucking midnight trying to fight robot dinosaurs. So I've had more sleep. I've been a better me. Being the best me is not playing games.
It's great when something happens and you do something and it makes you go, do you know what? I fucking love film.
And it just like it's a nice cozy blanket.
Yeah, it is because I love film.
Fucking right. So
go on, Ian, because I haven't watched the video yet because I sat down and got myself all set out to watch it like properly, like. Had my drink on the side, I tidied the living room, so everything was all like the perfect environment to watch it. And then it had been taken down because you were re-editing it and putting it back up.
Yeah.
I had time since then. So I'm still waiting, and it probably won't get watched till tomorrow night. But go on, tell people what Dolby Atmos experience was.
Well, so yeah, I mean, basically, it's an absolute minefield. All right, so Bex, if you wanted to look at that Twitter question, now's the time.
Well, I'm not interested.
You're not going to be in a minute. So I'm on the Curry's website. I'm going to look at soundbars and whatnot, and they've been doing some deals. And there's this JVC one that's £350. It's like, oh fuck that's not bad. It's like, right, okay, 4K pass through. Okay, great. So what I mean by that is basically, okay, you got a 4K TV, you got a 4K Apple TV. If you plug something in between them that can't handle the 4K signal, then you ain't getting 4K out of that Apple TV into your 4K TV. So, as well as that, 4K HDR. So the thing is, this JVC thing, it says 4K pass-through, but it doesn't say 4K HDR pass-through. I want my HDR. I want my brights. I need that shit. So, also... Well, my TV does Dolby Vision, and my Apple TV does Dolby Vision. So I've also got to try and get a soundbar that does fucking Dolby Vision. So this JVC one, all I can find out about it is 4K. Right, okay, fine, not much of a help. So I go on their website, it's like, well, Curry's PC World now handle all product queries and technical support for our soundbars. It's like, right, okay, that's ominous. Yeah, so I at Curry's PC World saying, I just want to know, can this pass through HDR? And I wait 2 days and I get a reply saying, well, I've had a look at the item description. It says it can pass through 4K signal. It's like, right, yeah, great.
Question I asked.
Fucking, yeah. And I was just like, okay, thanks for the answer. Not really what I was going for, but I appreciate it. And then they were like, well, if you want further guidance, blah, blah, blah. It was like, no, just give me the fucking answer to my question, but it's fine.
Cool. That's like saying, so does this set of highlighters come with a blue highlighter as well? It comes with a yellow one. Brilliant. Does it come with the blue? You'll have to ask us again. What was the question? Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. So then I find this soundbar and literally says, no, I didn't say on the Curry's website. I had to then go on the Sony website where it confirmed Dolby Vision, 4K, or HDR, good. So basically, first off, be very, very careful with the soundbar you select, that it can actually pass through the signal from the Apple TV or whatever device you're using to your TV without taking anything out of it, because the soundbar can't handle the processing.
So you connect, the soundbar doesn't connect, it has to connect to both your Apple TV and your TV.
So basically, my Apple TV is plugged into the soundbar. There's an HDMI in there.
Yeah.
And then there's an HDMI out that goes from the soundbar to the TV.
Right, so yes, it passes through that. Right, cool.
Yeah, so there's also a digital optical cable. So, like, any apps on my TV can also pass through the soundbar. But, of course, I can just have the TV volume on as well. It doesn't, like, my TV is set up in such a way that I can have volume come out of the TV and the soundbar at the same time if I want to. So basically all I do is because Lottie and Donna couldn't give two shits, so whenever I want to watch something, I just turn down the TV completely and just up the soundbar, so it's fine. So, got it. And then the issue with Dolby Atmos is that Dolby Atmos, what it does is it has an extra channel for stuff that kind of sound like they're above you. So as well as center, left, right, surround, left, right, subwoofer, you've also got a channel that's above you. However, Dolby are licensing the Dolby Atmos thing not just to solutions that are literally physical speakers. So it's essentially, if the thing can process the Dolby Atmos track, which is just a normal Dolby Digital or Dolby True HD track with an Atmos element added onto it, then they'll give it the licensing. And what that means is, I've got this speaker setup I have is a 2.1 setup, so there's only two speakers and the subwoofer.
Yeah.
But Sony used this thing called a vertical surround engine, where basically they process the signal in such a way that I don't know what the technicals are, but I will say it doesn't sound like literally the speakers are behind you, above you, whatever, but it does sound like the sound coming out of the soundbar is reaching those areas, but kind of coming from the TV. So you can still tell it's only coming from the soundbar, but when the upwards channels kick in, it does actually sound like sound is being being placed up there.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's obviously not as good as an actual solution or a soundbar that contains more speakers. And one day I will upgrade. I will. This isn't my forever soundbar.
Yeah.
But for something that basically I traded in a PlayStation, I refunded it and got this instead, I am very happy with my choice.
Good.
You know, and it's interesting because the Dolby Atmos thing out of the Apple TV, it's not Dolby True HD, it's Dolby Digital with the Atmos thing layered upon it, but it still sounds fine. Like, I mean, shit, I watched The Grey in just 5.1 virtual surround yesterday, and that thing was bloody intense, and it was not loud because it was like 9 o'clock at night. Lottie and I watched a bit of the Lego Batman movie yesterday in Atmos, loud, and that thing was awesome. It was great. It did actually sound like the sounds were around, even though they weren't.
So it is at the moment. So what you're saying is, what you expect, what you hoped it was going to do, you're getting that experience. You're getting a heightened experience as to what you ever thought.
Yes, it is a for the price, an acceptable facsimile of the real thing, but I will want to upgrade in the future when I have more available funds. But it's one of the
things, though, because it's kind of... at least now you know that it's real, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I will say, I mean, like, the screen in Cineworld Cardiff that does Atmos is really, really good. And is obviously better than the kit I have. But it is a much more theatrical sounding experience with this soundbar than I kind of thought it was going to be. I'm like legit impressed. Even though, one last thing, unless you have any questions.
No, I think everything's been good, mate.
No, cool. Right, so I've got the beta of the Apple TV 4K new TV OS that comes out next month. So at the moment, if you don't have the beta updates, you don't have Dolby Atmos on anything. And it's weird. It's been flaky. So if I ask Siri what's available in Dolby Atmos, it brings up this list, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming. You go into the page for Spider-Man Homecoming, and it even has the Dolby Atmos logo on it. You start playing the film, it's not in Dolby Atmos. Yeah, so...
Is it going to be, maybe?
I assume it's going to be, but it's weird that literally even the page says Dolby Atmos, and then like when I start it up, it just kicks in a Dolby Digital 5.1 track. But there are films like Mad Max Fury Road, aforementioned Lego Batman, Sicario is in Atmos.
Nice.
So, it's good as well. Yeah, like I did only a little bit of that, but it was enjoyable. So it's gonna get there. The list of available titles looks good, even though now I don't know what's actually available and what isn't. But it does seem like Warner Brothers and Lionsgate ones that say are available, they are. It's the Sony ones that seem a little bit... Is it, though? But that may well change by the time tvOS 12's set to actually launch in the next few weeks, so it won't be long. But yeah, it's it's a good time. I'm glad I have it, and now I've got the 4K, I've got the Dolby Vision, I've got a version of Dolby Atmos. I kind of feel like I can actually rest now.
Yeah, you can go, right, I don't need anything for the time being. I've got a month until that new Apple showcase comes out to just go, I'm fine. Fine.
Yeah, that's going to be brutal. The thing is, I'm on the iPhone upgrade program anyway, so I'm getting a new iPhone next month. So that's fine. I just hope the new Apple Watch isn't amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually due a new phone for around the same time as the new iPhone comes out.
You are, because you've got my upgrade.
Yeah, because you got mine.
I got yours, didn't I? And mine's always just after.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 new iPhones coming out this year.
Yeah.
Sorry?
And the Mini Mac is making a return, apparently, isn't it?
Yeah, Mac Mini's making a return. I wish I could get Donna into that. I can't.
I think I'm actually thinking about a Mac Mini.
Do it.
Is that, I was reading about this, is that the one that doesn't come with like a monitor or a mouse or a keyboard or anything? It's just literally
it's
the thing.
Literally the thing, and then you could plug it into your TV.
Cool.
And then you just have like a wireless keyboard that you use for it. I'm very up for that.
I'm not entirely sure how up Becky is for that.
Could you hear the tumbleweeds?
Yeah, no, I didn't just fucking hear it. I saw it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll look for it.
I'm not entirely sure how much I'm willing to pay for a computer that is just literally
a box.
The fucking box, no.
Right, cool.
Just buy an iMac.
Well, yeah. I prefer to have one of the... I thought you wanted a MacBook Pro thingy.
I flipped.
You do. You're as bad as Ian.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
Oh, that is
true. Trailers. What have we seen this week? There hasn't been many, has there?
I'm going to attempt to do this while going downstairs and getting a beer. Let's see how this goes.
Okay, and you can all listen to me pouring my water that Mark just told me off for.
Oh, sweet. I'm going downstairs. Just going to ask Donna a question. Don, how annoying is my flip-flopping on a scale of 1 to fuck you? Oh, shit, Lottie's here. Yeah, okay, thanks.
What grade did she give you?
F you.
Oh,
I have to say, it'd drive me mad.
God bless that woman, mate. You've got an absolute superstar there.
Right, I am holding my MacBook, because I'm in the kitchen and the Wi-Fi usually cuts out here. I'm holding it as far as I can by my fridge, hoping it doesn't cut out while I get a couple of drinks. Come here, you bastard. There we go. Right. There we go. And I'm leaving this in. This is great physical dexterity on my part, this. Right. Trailers. There's been a couple of big Netflix ones this week.
There has, hasn't there? Netflix has after having, what I would say has been a difficult few months.
Rocky few months.
In the sense that it's not that there's a lot of stuff that's been doing is crap. It's just that a lot of people have started to. And Noel was saying to us on Boy Chat, that he's getting a little bit. He's not finding anything on there, and even me and you have said it recently that you're not finding stuff.
Sky Movies has been getting a lot of hits recently.
Now TV is the best. Yeah, sorry, just to echo that. Yeah.
And so there's been sort of bits of that, and then Netflix kind of go, hey, can we just remind you, we've got a new Jeremy Solier movie, we've got a new Alfonso Cuarón movie, we've got a new Martin Scorsese movie, we've got a new David Mackenzie movie, and all those are going to be available for your subscription and before the end of the year, and you kind of go, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I do agree with that. There is stuff to look forward to, but you look through some of the menus and everything's duplicated and everything's uninspiring. And it's a little bit Netflix. What have you done for lately?
I think this is though.
That they've spunked all their money making new stuff.
I don't think it's that. I think that algorithms have got too complicated with themselves.
Yeah.
That what happens is you can go on 3 different menus across what it is, and you can look at it and go, right, you've just shown me over those 3 menus in 50 films in each of them, and it could be thrillers, crime movies, and I don't know,
romantic comedies.
And you might end up getting a crossover out of 100. What should be 150 movies? You might end up getting a crossover of 98 movies or 101 movies.
The thing is, though, the thing that pisses me off is whoever's classifying them for which menus they come up in is clearly just a dickhead. Because you get stuff come up in comedy and it's like, oh yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. And they're not right. Amazon Prime's guilty of that as well, though.
It's some woke intern that's doing it.
Woke intern?
Yeah, it is. It's the wokiest of interns that's doing that.
He looks funny in his human skin mask, let's bang it in comedy.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is. When I watched that, I laughed so much. I was so high on balloons. Fuck off, Jeremy!
High on balloons? Is that a thing they do now?
Yeah, they all do balloons, like that carbon shit.
He would totally be called Jeremy as well. That's a good shout.
He will be. Yeah. Balloons, it's basically nitrous. Basically, it's the same as if you open a bottle of Coca-Cola and quickly go and then close it again and shake it up again and do that. It's basically the same thing as that. They all do that because they get it's not too dissimilar to do you remember poppers?
Yeah.
That essentially.
Oh, I love poppers.
And it's that poppers. Ian loved them. Favourite of the gay scene, I believe.
Oh mate, it expanded my arsehole like no one's business.
Anyway, trailers.
Paul knows what I'm talking about.
When they marketed as rumored risers.
Anyway, trailers.
Yes.
Did you guys meet my mate Siobhan at my wedding?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah. Like, me and her ex-boyfriend, did a lot of poppers at fucking Glastonbury one year. Like, that was a good time.
I was never a fan of them.
Does she listen to the show? Are you going to be in trouble for sharing that?
No, and nah, she won't give a fuck.
No, she wouldn't. Yeah. First one then. Outlaw King.
Yeah, Outlaw King. I'm very intrigued to hear more than like 2 seconds of Chris Pine doing a Scottish accent.
Yeah, I am as well, because when he did it, when somebody mentioned that he had a Scottish accent, and I thought, oh no, is that going to be terrible? And then when I actually heard it, I was like, oh, that's all right actually. And Aaron Taylor Johnson Wood it is now, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson Wood's accent in it is quite good.
That's a funny name. Sorry,
it is, isn't it?
It's too many syllables involved.
It's too many also euphemisms for penis as well.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Anthony Taylor has Johnson's wood. It looks intriguing. It looks like the traditional Scottish telling the English off and out we bastards. And there'll be a big speech amongst loads of people that Scottish people will shout drunk in pubs for years to come.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fine with it.
I'm not keen for it, I'm not going to lie.
I'm not a fan of historical films like that.
No.
But I'm a fan of The Best Chris.
He's not the best Chris.
And I am a fan of David Mackenzie, so...
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. I'll give it a watch when it lands, but I wouldn't go to the cinema to watch it.
I would.
But then I still haven't seen Braveheart.
You don't need to.
No. I think I tried to watch it, and then a horse died, and I got very sad and wouldn't watch the rest of it.
That's a fair comment.
Yeah.
Ian, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm up for it. It's one which I am... I'm slightly reserving judgment, but I hope it's more interesting than the trailer actually kind of makes it out to be. And like the start of the trailer, I was kind of into it, but by the end, it's like, okay, so it's going to be the Scottish taking down the English then. Fine. But David Mackenzie,
yeah,
it's interesting that Netflix actually like took a good chance on this, and after a couple of years of Netflix only release shite and the occasional piece of interest crap that you've had out of a lot of, I don't know, The Guardian and film Twitter, basically it kind of seems like this and another one we're going to talk about are heralding a bit of a movement, and I hope the film's quality does actually give that justice. What is it? It's October this is, isn't it? Or is it November?
Late September.
No, hang on. Hold the Dark's late September, isn't it?
Yes, it is actually right. Yeah, it is. It's October. It's not too far off the heels of it, though, is it? I think it's only like a few weeks.
This feels like one that may be LFF-y. And, fucking... If Netflix want to put their bloody films in the online screener library for LFF, that would be just fine.
I can't see them doing that.
Well, you never know. They want the coverage and shit. Who's to say? I can't believe I fucking got into LFF again. And I think Dude and a Monkey's going to be on my fucking badge.
I'm very proud of that.
I think... I put them down as my company.
I am probably unnaturally proud of that.
So am I. Like, it's just like
I think people will look at it and go, "What is that?"
Like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna wear my Laura Dern Girls on Top T-shirt that arrived today, with Dude and a Monkey on my lanyard. I'm just gonna make some people's heads explode.
Yeah, I in my brain, as kind of like almost a visual gag, in my brain keeps playing it. That is, if I did go to LFF and did get in and me and Ian turned up, that everybody else, like the theme tune that they'd have as they walked in to LFF would be something like either synthy or something like fucking just worthy or anything like that. And ours would be something like fucking Thrift Shop by Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. And we'd walk into that just bouldering and go, right, what we're going to watch, and then how shit-faced can we get?
Yeah.
You're going to say Eye of the Tiger there.
No, it'd be like, it literally would be something like that.
Is that...
Sorry.
When is that?
October, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like just a very slight tangent, and I know we're going long, but fuck it. Is that all right?
That's fine by me, mate.
Thank you. It was weird because I thought I wasn't going to get in this year because the last few years it's basically been that for like returning people they just give you an accreditation reference. You put that in, it's like right, okay, pay your fucking money and give us your photo and you're in. This year it was like, okay, what dates can you be in London? Like a website of where your work is, which they usually do, but it was like, right, someone will actually look at this and be in touch within 48 hours. It was like, shit. So they're going to see, right, so what the fuck is Dude and a Monkey? And just go, no, of course not. But I think what helps, and bless Ivan over at Vodzilla, like, I think what helps is the fact that man does occasionally give me writing gigs. And like that's not a bitchy thing. Like I'm not nearly as good as, and he's got a really, really good writing staff. And I am the who wants to review Escape Plan 2 or films playing at Fright Fest. Ian, yeah, why not? Sure. That's me. And that's all good. I know my role and I'm perfectly happy with it. But because of that, and that I could put, well, I've actually written some shit this year, I think that got me in.
Yes.
But it essentially means that I don't think I'm actually obligated to write for anyone else. And like Ivan, I haven't actually said I'm going to review anything for him. If Vodzilla's actually on my name badge, maybe I should. Or certainly I should. But otherwise, there's going to be a lot of fucking coverage on Dude and a Monkey this year. I'm only actually physically going to the festival for 2 days, but I got some online screener shit I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch some motherfucking Hungarian films about sheep herders.
I fucking love a Hungarian film about a sheep herder.
Can't wait, and I'm going to write about them.
Nice! Hold the Dark. That's a fucking trailer, isn't it?
Let's fucking do it. Let's do it. This looks like The Grey, but it's Jeffrey Wright and not with wolves. Well, kind of with wolves, maybe.
Well, yeah. But there's fucking, as Jeremy Saulnier does very well, there's shit going on. There's other shit going on. Oh. That man likes a dark movie. And I adore the reasoning for why he did Green Room after Blue Ruin.
Go on.
But he was asked why do this movie after Blue Ruin, and his response was, because they allowed me freedom to make a movie, and there is no way I would be allowed to make this movie later on in my career.
Regarding which one?
Fair fucking Green Room.
Green Room, because he said, he said, with the movie I'm hoping to make, and the path I'm hoping my career is going to go on, there's no way in 10 years' time I'm going to be able to make this movie. I want to make it now. And to have the kind of the balls to basically say, hopefully I'm going to be too big to make this type of movie in the future. And B, to go, the other point he was making is that he doesn't feel that in 10 years' time he will have the mentality to make a movie that angry again.
Blue Ruin's a pretty angry movie as well, isn't it?
And Green Room's a very angry movie.
Yeah, Green Room's
Green Room's horrible, but an absolutely magnificent film. But this looks like
it makes
a very...
you feel dirty watching it.
It does,
Green Room.
But All the Dark looks like... It looks like it has all the verve and panache and the style of those movies, but with a bit
more slick.
Not more slick, but a more... Somebody who's growing as a filmmaker. Yeah. And I don't mean that in a wanky way. I mean,
I see what you mean.
It is somebody who is going, look, I've done this, but look at this, and it's somebody who is getting fucking better.
But I mean, it's It's interesting though, because it's like what happened with Peter Jackson, where he's kind of said a few times that he'd like to go back and make a low budget kind of like down and dirty, gory film, and it's just like they wouldn't. You'd imagine they wouldn't allow him to. Now it's like he's making it like I think he maybe co-wrote or at least produced the Mortal Engines. He's done this World War One documentary that's playing at LFF, and it's like he's too Peter Jackson now to ever be Peter Jackson then again.
Yeah, he's stuck in this weird kind of this weird kind of like limbo of he doesn't really know what to do because he can't go back to making the movies he was making before Lord of the Rings.
Why can't he?
Because
have some integrity and just do what you feel passionate about.
The weird thing is, as an oddity, I don't think a studio will give Peter Jackson 70 million to make a passion project. Or even 30 million to make a passion project.
I don't know. He promises him a big budget blockbuster. They'll let him do what he wants.
He don't want to do the big budget blockbuster. And I think he's what is it? Past 6 movies? 6 is past 8 movies have been in the Lord of the Rings universe. So does he have it to get out of there?
Yeah. Did you see that thing about? It was a few weeks ago now. Did you see that thing about Topher Grace? Apparently makes supercuts of movies where he like really massively condenses them, and he did The Hobbit.
Yeah, no, he's done like recuts of like Star Wars shit as well. Like he finds it therapeutic.
He does it as a hobby, and then you can't get him anywhere. But he's done a supercut of The Hobbit where it's actually like the length it should be, which is 1 movie instead of 3 fucking sprawling, bloated pieces of shit. He's done it as 1 movie. Apparently, it's really good.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a really interesting guy.
He took up editing as a way to relax, didn't he? When he was doing some kind of role that was really getting to him, he took up editing.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Black Klansman.
No, because I think he did one. No, it might have been actually. Yeah, it might have been.
He's been very vocal on how difficult he found that. I can imagine him needing to do some serious, like, silly shit to get away. I mean, we'll talk more about that next week, but to get away from that, yeah.
Any other trailers that we've watched this week?
Another one for the Happy Time Murders. I don't care. I'm really looking forward to it. Or maybe we talked about that last week, but I'm just going to say I'm really looking forward to that film.
What was quite amusing was...
Yeah, it was a bit weird. We both had a bit of a moment, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a trailer for the Happy
Time Murders.
Happy Time Murders. I'll keep getting that wrong. Before the Meg. But it wasn't the Red Band. But there was still quite a few moments, wasn't there?
You have to point out why this was a bit troubling.
Because here we were there with Isabel, which that's not actually that troubling.
I wouldn't want to see in that fucking Red Band trailer.
She's seen a lot worse. She's been watching Archer, Becky.
Yeah, but there's not puppets jizzing all over their office.
No, but I would say Archer's pretty bad, babe. But behind us, there was a couple that had like kids from the ages of 5 to about 9.
Yeah. Hang on, what fucking? Oh yeah, the Meg's the 12A, isn't it? Yeah, all right, yeah.
But yeah, Happy Time Murders trailer.
Yeah.
Sure, there was another trailer that showed when we were at the cinema that we haven't seen before. I can't remember what it was.
Can't remember.
Ah, fuck.
But anyway, so trailers. We'll move on to our first feature movie then.
We're going to be here a while, aren't we?
Yeah. Okay.
How you doing? I'm the Lyft driver that you called to take home your girlfriend.
Not a girlfriend, man.
Oh, credit card was invalid.
Come in. There you go. Pay yourself whatever and give yourself a nice tip.
Thank you. You're not going to ask me if she got home okay? This is the point where usually I'd give you a chance to do the right thing, but not tonight. Tonight I'm going to need your cameras, cell phones, anything you might have used to record what you did to her.
You knocked on the wrong door tonight, Pops.
The Equalizer 2, a sequel that nobody asked for, but everybody wanted.
Nice.
I think this is the first time Denzel's ever done a sequel, isn't it?
Yeah, true that.
Directed by Anton Fuqua, starring Denzel Washington, returning as DIA agent Robert McCall. Also stars Pedro Pascal. That's who it was. Couldn't fucking remember his name all the way through it. Also has Melissa Leo and Bill Pullman in it. Doesn't pick up exactly where the last one left off. It kind of
It gives them a few years.
We didn't rewatch the last one, and what I would say is, I think you could possibly watch this in isolation.
Yeah.
I think you could possibly get away with it, but it makes more sense if you're watching it for that.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't necessarily understand his
whole thing with the watch and everything like that. So Denzel Washington now works as a Lyft driver, which I think that is a real company, isn't it? Lyft is a real company, yeah, brilliant. Because I was looking at it going, so if he's an Uber driver, why haven't he got a fucking Uber thing on the side?
It's the like more enlightened competitor in the US.
the less rapey one.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, like Uber likes to rape. I would like to just say that's not a real comment.
Yeah, Lyft just like to shit their dicks at things. So yeah,
They'll just rub themselves discreetly. And
it's not a full massage. It's jerking off into a ficus.
Lyft wait until you're out the car before they start wanking.
Yeah, and just smelling the seats.
Ew.
LFF accreditation's not coming my way quickly.
You'll have to write some shit for a legit website.
Fuck that shit. No way.
They won't let you.
Nope. No, they won't.
Too sweary.
No. It's all about palm.
You know, tangenting. Go on.
In fairness, I rated a fucking film based on how it paired with an IPA, and it got published on that fucking website. So, sorry, I don't mean that fucking website in a bad way. Like Ivan's the best. Sorry, go on.
Yes. So, but he also at the same time, he is also doing little submissions, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then he's
Bit
using
of a vigilante.
Yeah, he's using Melissa Leo's character, who he used to work with at the DIA, to get information to help him do these little missions. She's also supposed to be retired, but as these people who work in these industries are never really retired, are they?
No.
She is sent to Belgium to investigate a murder of one of their...
Belgium, just to make clear. Belgium.
Yeah,
Belgium.
A murder or suicide, as it would appear, of one of their agents.
Murder-suicide.
And she feels that it's not quite all what it seems, and then she winds up, we are all spoilers all the time, guys, dead. And...
That seems fucking brutal.
Denzel is not happy about it.
You are Ian.
It's really gross. I was just agreeing. Sorry.
Yeah.
Denzel is not happy about it, is he? So,
He is not.
I'm going to go with you first, Bex. Bex, what did you think of the Equalizer 2?
It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Because I remember when they said they were doing a sequel for it, I was a bit like, where do they take that? Because obviously the first one's all about him. He's just trying to kind of live a normal life, isn't he? And then he gets sort of sucked back in by...
It's almost like it's a reboot, but it's not a reboot because it's a...
Well, he's feeding very much off what happens in the first. But it's like, you don't have to do any of that backstory shit with this one. You can just get straight into him being a bit of a badass.
No, I mean the first one's like a reboot, but it's a reboot, but as he would be now.
Yeah. So it's... Yeah, so this one you don't have to kind of go through that emotional why am I where I am kind of stuff. He just is there, and he's still like you say, just living his normal life, but doing these bits on the side. And obviously you've got the young kid that lives in his building that he sort of mentors in the same way that he does the young kid that works with him in the first one.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
No. The boy that works with him he's trying to become a security guard.
Oh, God,
and he gets him to do his
He definitely doesn't work with Chloe Grace Moretz in the first one.
No. Chloe Grace Moretz is a prostitute, Mark. I don't think Denzel works as a prostitute.
Yeah, I clearly don't remember the first one that well, so carry on. That's problematic. Was she a prostitute in the first one?
Straight out, yeah.
She was like, oh.
Yeah, the whole thing starts because her pimp beats her up.
Carry on with what is it?
So anyway, so you've got that mirroring of the mentor-mentoree relationship there, and that's very, very nice. And it's a bit of a distraction, but it also shows that he is fully embracing the normal side of his life, but then he just goes off and does this crazy shit in the background. And I think it's a little bit. It feels a little bit messy as you're going through because there is quite a lot of different bits going on. They do eventually all pull together, but it does feel a little bit like you're jumping from one scenario to the other.
Yeah.
But I said to you when you get to that sort of evacuated town, from that point onwards, the badassery is just palpable, isn't it? It's just all fucking badass. It's some good shit. There's some good kills. I love a good kill.
You do love a good kill.
Yeah, yeah.
Go on.
But yeah, I feel like overall, by the time you get to the end, it's really well rounded, and it's a really good action movie. And I think I don't want to be disrespectful to Denzel Washington, but you're getting more and more of these films with sort of your more mature actors doing these kind of badass roles. Like Mission Impossible, which is the greatest movie of the year so far. It's good to see them because seeing some scrawny little fashionable millennial twat kicking someone's ass, it's not. I don't know. Maybe because I'm getting older, I like to see like older people doing stuff. That's
You mean when they tried when they tried to make Taylor Lautner into an action star, and you went, "Oh, fuck off."
Taylor Lautner's got no fucking personality.
Well, he's got no personality. That's why it didn't work.
No.
But that abduction film was terrible. Ian, what did you think of The Equalizer 2?
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Bex. And we'll see what Mark thought. But I don't know. I just thought it was a bit shit. Like, not awful. Like, maybe even touching cloth. But it just, to give my rating away. But it takes itself very, very seriously, and there are moments where it kind of feels like it's trying to be something more than what it seems to be. But it was too long and took itself too seriously, and for me to have enough fun with it. There were certainly moments, but I just remember the first as being this kind of like grisly, nasty, weird, just moral vengeance tale, which this one, it ties itself in knots with this like conspiracy at the start, and it's just like, it's got to be like 2/3 through before it's like revealed that Pedro Pascal is the bad guy, and then you've got that great scene of him with the telling the guys like, my only regret is I only get to kill you once, and then that fucking weird bit, but which I like, but then it's that weird bit where it's then like, he said you could drive me to the station, and he's picking up his kid.
I love that bit where he does like the finger guns at him as well.
Yeah, but it's like it feels weird that it's the good guy doing that. No,
I think it's him putting himself in a position where they can't follow him and kill him because he's there. I don't think he's going to threaten to kill his kids.
No, but like any other film, right? You take it. Okay, so when I started A-level English, we the weird example here, but we were read a passage of Enduring Love by Ian McEwan, and we were asked like, right, what was happening in that scene? And it was like, well, it's like basically two lovers having a quarrel, and then we actually read Enduring Love in as part of the course, and in that that scene is in there, and it's this a stalker guy talking to the guy he's stalking. And so it was kind of like the whole kind of like how, and that always stuck in my mind of how, like, and it's like I watched that scene, and there was like that came to mind. There's just like cognitive dissonance of this doesn't feel right, and it's kind of interesting that they did it, but it feels like, were they doing this on purpose? Because surely they weren't, because he is the moral guardian of this film. So for him to then suddenly be doing things that would usually be what a bad guy is doing in other films feels a bit weird, considering how black and white the morality in this film is.
I don't know, though, because I think that scene there, because obviously they are good guys that become bad guys. They were still part of his team, part of the world that he was in when he was in that world. And within that scene, is that the bit where it says about we kill people, yeah, but we kill bad guys. How do we know they were the bad guys? There were names on a piece of paper. And I think that's supposed to, I think that is kind of trying to get across the message that people within that world are not necessarily good guys or bad guys.
It explores that who's to decide his morality.
I think it's trying to set up a bit of moral ambiguity within that scene.
Yeah. Right. I think I enjoyed it the most out of everybody. However...
But of course you did.
However, what I will say is...
Are you sure, Matt? Because he wasn't a broken man in this one, and that's your thing. He was a broken man.
No, he's still broken in this.
Oh, he's a bit better, though, isn't he?
No, he's not. He's more broken. No, what I will say is Ian is absolutely right. It's too long. It's too long.
Yeah.
But also as well, he's right in how confused it is, because it does seem...
I said that too.
And you said that too, yes. It does seem like they've gone, right, so is he trying to get vengeance for his the person he worked with, Mr. Leo's character, or is he trying to get his friend back? What is it? Which one do we go down? Wait a minute, let's have both. And it kind of...
friend back?
Yeah, his friend. His little friend. Miles. His little friend.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
And so it's like they've gone, let's do...
Just to clarify, Ian, Matt just did a bit of thing when he said his little friend Miles, where he put his hands about a foot apart to like show his height. I think it was that little.
Okay, that was a bit weird, Mark.
Miles is a munchkin.
So anyway, so there's two of them, and it's too much, and we don't need to see Miles painting that much.
Oh, but he was good at the painting.
He's just painting a fucking wall.
Yeah, but he's doing that instead of being out on the corner.
But he still goes to the fucking corner.
No, but then he goes and gets him. Oh, that looks good as well.
I will say that bit, the scene where he goes and gets him, and then he's in the stairwell. Whereas, I will say though, I have watched it when in the stairwell, and I'm going, surely they'd have come downstairs by now. Surely they'd have come downstairs by now.
Yeah, you'd have thought.
But then again...
But they still have the elevator.
But then again, they almost do sort of block that and caveat it when the guy, as Denzel and little Miles have left, where one of the guys turns around to the other one and in a quite terrified voice goes, "Who the hell was that?"
Yeah,
like they've all, like one of them has gone, "We need to go and get him." They've all gone, "I don't think so. I just don't think so."
We just leave it.
I say we just say no. But that scene in that stairwell, you're watching it going, "Oh, fucking hell, Denzel. Yeah. That's Denzel. Oh, he's got that ability to go from being cuddly kind of father figure Denzel to reminding you that he was in fucking Training Day Denzel. That to make you just go, do you know what? This has no place in this movie at all. Like you were saying, Ian, this moment and this scene belongs in a far weightier and a far more worthy Denzel movie than The Equalizer 2, which for a start off is called The Equalizer 2, not The Equalizer something else. Doesn't happen a lot in modern sequels, that.
True that.
but it's still a fucking great fucking scene.
Can I just point out about that scene as well? Right, you know how much of a sucker I am for stylish shit that's done with guns.
Yeah.
That bit where he crosses his fucking hands over with both guns, I love that.
Yeah, it is. It just, you look at it and you go...
Oh, and do you know what else? Sorry, I keep interrupting, but do you know what else was a really good bit?
What?
You know when they go after
You're just naming good bits now.
when they go after her husband, and he's like creeping around, and you're thinking, oh, he must be there, and then he's not there, and then all of a sudden he's just fucking there. I like that as well.
Yeah, but so
sorry, I'll shut up now.
I do think that the thing is,
don't ever feel like you have to say, "All right, I'll shut up now, Bex." Sorry, just
you don't.
It's a weird insight into your relationship.
Oh, fucking! I wish.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't interrupt me when I was saying what I thought.
But the bit that you liked best is the bit where the ending.
Oh,
What is it?
The badassery.
Yeah, it was the bit where it started to where I went, do you know what? I'm enjoying this, but it also feels like it's out of a different movie. It feels a little bit.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel in step with the movie that I've been watching. But go on.
I don't know, because he's obviously he's saved doing all this dangerous shooting shit for when they're in an isolated situation and no one else can get hurt. So it does kind of feed into his whole. He only wants to hurt the bad people.
That's fine. I'm fine. I don't mean that. I mean it goes a bit crazy and a bit bombastic. For that, but I do enjoy seeing Denzel. I really like the bit where he's doing his process and working out what's happened at the dinner scene. That was a nice stylistic bit from
when the camera's swirling round and then he's like there with them. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. We didn't need the sub-story with the old man and his sister. That felt weird.
I didn't get what was happening there, because I thought it was that he was trying to prove that his sister did the painting.
Yeah.
And it was so he was like, it was basically like there was money on the table that he wasn't getting. But then at the end, it was like, oh, he was trying to find the sister. Was he?
Yeah, I was a bit like that with that. I was a bit like, do you know what? That has added no richness to this story at all.
Sorry, about painting, I dipped out for a second.
Yeah, I couldn't give a shit about the painting guy.
Oh no, but it was.
But it has no place in the movie.
That was like 10 minutes that could have been cut out. That really, really could have helped the film not be 121 minutes.
Yeah, but let's get to the big bit. The Melissa Leo being just ultimately fucking badass and beating the shit out of two guys and only really getting taken down because they've surprised her slightly.
Well, no, because they don't really take her down, do they?
No, they don't. Actually,
she survives them two fuckers, and then it's him comes and stabs her under the ribs.
I just love this fucking screaming. Like like she proper goes for it at one point. It's like, go on, Melissa Leo.
It is a little bit like, because when she the first smash against the what is it and throws her across the what is it, and she stood going no and everything like that, and you're looking at her going, she's just fooling them. She's about to go fucking. She knows in that room I am the most in control of this situation in this room. Out of this, I can take these guys down.
The thing is, she knew something was up though. She knew something was up in the elevator.
Yeah.
So why did she not? Stay in the elevator and go back down or whatever.
Because I think there's maybe just a sense of those type of people think that every situation's a little bit off.
Also,
there's a sense of, in the same sense as Denzel Washington's character, it is the type of person where he looks at it in every room. He knows that he's got everything under control. That's the level of confidence and the level of bravado these people have to do the jobs they do.
That was horrible when he killed her. When he stabbed her, I didn't like that.
No, I didn't, because it was... But what also was odd was the fact that she was in the first trailer and then not in any of the other fucking trailers. And I was actually thinking, has Melissa Leo been cut out of this?
yeah, that last trailer that came out when she was just not in it at all.
It was like odd.
It seems like a different film.
But
I want to know where... I just want to say, I want to know where Bill Pullman got dropped off.
Yeah, that was really bothering me. Wait, he just fucking disappeared out of the car.
Yeah.
Like, literally, Denzel Washington is driving to his old house, and he's having that conversation with Pedro Pascal, and it's like, hang on, is Bill Pullman listening to this?
But Bill Pullman's still sat in the back of Denzel Washington.
Yeah, exactly. And just
I just want to KFC.
Bob, can I get out now?
just a couple of things from me.
Go on.
I know this is really pernickety, but I hate it when films fuck their internal logic like this. Pedro Pascal, he's in on it. He's obviously in on it when Melissa Leo steps out of the lift, and those two guys are on that floor as well. He says a line, something like,
I guess I'm going back out then.
I guess I'm going back out there. Yeah, exactly. Well, but if he knows she's going to be killed, why would he say that?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Do you know what? That's not been it. That is a good point.
It just like I hate it when films do stuff like that, where it's just like because you could see it as being pernickety, but at the same time, it's like no. You don't need to have that line in there. That character would actually not say something like that, and it does. I don't know. There's a slight sloppiness to this film. With
Is anyone else in the elevator with him at that point?
No.
She's
with them.
like literally steps out because she's talking about like get those chocolates or something, isn't she?
Yeah. I can see your point on that one. That's a fair enough one.
I mean, either have him not say anything at all, or just say, "Well, fuck that," because you're going to be dead in a minute, and then just give the whole game away. Like one or the other.
For him to say, "Well, I suppose I'm going back out again, then, aren't I?" No, and then just giggle to himself,
or just say it to her.
I think that would have removed a lot of gravity from the character.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't know.
Or even say to her, like you say, if you'd said it to her, I guess I'm going back out then. But she'd already got out, hasn't she?
Yeah, she'd walked off. Yeah. It was just a line after. And I've got to say as well, like Pedro Pascal, I kind of want him. It's the second film I've seen him in a row now where it's turned out he's a secret bad guy, and I kind of want it to stop.
Is that because he has a secret bad guy face?
That's the thing. He kind of does, and it's just. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised that they gave the game away that early on in the film because it still felt like there was a good chunk of time left. But yeah, I don't know. It just this guy because I think he got like big in Narcos, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Was he a secret bad guy in that as well?
No, I don't think so.
Was he not? Okay, it just
was he in Thrones?
No, that's right. He was the something Viper. I think he was. Nah, he was brilliant. Fuck, he was really good in Game of Thrones. He was brilliant. And he got fucking like decimated. Like his death's like tragic, but actually really funny as well.
I know we're all spoilers all the time, but I've just started watching Game of Thrones, so shh.
Okay, well, yeah, no, he dies, so enjoy. Sorry.
He's also going to be in the upcoming Triple Frontier, the new next JC Shandor movie.
Cool. That sounds great.
Written by Mark Bowl. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Listen to this cast.
Ooh.
Oscar Isaacs.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Okay.
Garrett Hedlund.
Okay.
Charlie Hunnam.
Okay.
And Ben Affleck.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Loyalty tested when 5 friends reunite to take down a South American drug lord, unleashing a chain of unintended consequences.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say South American bear.
Bear. Maybe the drug lord's called the bear.
They reunite to take down a South American bear that killed their friend. I'd watch that.
I'd watch that if it was directed by J.C. Chandon. So, what are we getting near the end of the Equalizer 2 then, I think, aren't we?
I also just want to say, it didn't need to say Belgium every single fucking time it went back to Brussels. We know it's in Brussels, but you don't have to say it's Belgium every time.
They actually mentioned it several times in the movie that it was Brussels, Belgium as well.
Fuck me.
Oh,
yeah, Yeah, I still kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But our poll.
Touching cloth, by the way, like it just like it was too. If it was 90 minutes, I would have been more than okay with it.
Even if I'd say if it was like 104 minutes, I'd have been fine with it.
Sure.
It's beyond 2 hours, which is too long.
Oh, and also, sorry, one last thing. Sorry.
No.
The bit where he's in the panic room thing and Pedro Pascal does the little fucking, like, smiley face thing. That character wouldn't do that. He'd just fucking shoot.
Well, no, because he thinks it's Denzel, doesn't he? So he thinks
but why would he do that, though? It's like he knows Denzel's a threat. Just fucking shoot him.
He does go from being... He does go to being very villainous very quickly. But he goes from being... He's a bad guy, but he knows he's on the wrong side, but he's calculated his call with it, to being villainous bad guy, shoots police as he goes in there, and, you know, he's just reveling in being the bad guy very quickly.
To be fair, though, he does that after Denzel kind of lords over the fact that he can't do anything to him and he's hugging his kid and picking it up and goes off into the car. That's when he goes villainous bad guy.
Yeah, but still. What were you wanting, Bex?
Definitely not shit.
Definitely not shit. Well, I'm definitely not shit as well. Our audience is definitely not shit 25%, touching cloth 25%, and shit 50%.
Listen, Mum, I've got guests over. Can I call you a bit later? Bill! Bill! April.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful news.
Ridiculously handsome. Too bad he's a wanker.
We're going to be a family.
Oh, wow. I have never seen that happen before. It's not every day that one of us becomes a minister in your entirely useless opposition party.
What is it, darling?
I have an announcement.
Oh. Very funny.
It wasn't a joke.
I could kill you!
You need to let the anger out. It's only natural.
Shut up, Godfrey. Your cliches are unbearable.
I smell burning.
Oh, it's the volivants.
You think we should leave them alone for a minute?
What for?
Personal space.
Revenge.
No. I believe in truth and reconciliation. What is it you're doing, Anton?
Work in finance.
Oh, yeah.
We shared everything.
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 I'm disgusted.
So much negative female energy.
You could consider murder.
This is all coming out.
Our relationship is starting to look remarkably healthy. It's very kind of you to call. Yes, just a little celebration.
Ian, have you got any what you've been watching?
I suppose that's a point to be doing that in, isn't it? Have
you got any, Bex?
No, I mean, we watched Gone Girl, didn't we? But we didn't watch the end of it.
We didn't watch all of it, so I'll have to cover that next week.
Yeah.
Because I've only got one.
I've got one.
Go on then.
Yeah, so obviously we'll talk about Black Klansman next week. So only have one. The Party, directed by...
yes.
So, directed by Sally Potter. It's on Netflix now. Came out...
Is it?
Yeah.
Fuck. So this is what I mean. You see, that's on Netflix. I had no idea that's on Netflix.
It's on my algorithm, motherfucker.
Not fucking mine. And I really want to see that. Sorry.
Well, no, seriously. I mean, like the thing's 71 minutes long. Like you could fucking polish that off, like whenever. Like literally, I watched this one train journey and treadmill, and I was done. You know, that's what you want. That's good. That's good. That's good times. So, came out in the cinema I think, played down FF last year. I think it came out earlier this year in the cinema. So, and really well worth a watch, actually. So basically, it's this dinner party being hosted by Kristen Scott Thomas, who has just found out she's been made the Minister for Health, and her husband Timothy Spall, who is obviously from the start of the film not quite right in some way. So dinner guests Cherry Jones and Emily Mortimer as a lesbian couple who have IVF, I think, and Mortimer is pregnant with triplets. Cillian Murphy as a seemingly cokehead, well, not seemingly, he is a cokehead banker guy whose wife is running late to the party. You get the sense he's kind of a bit on the fringes of this group. And Patricia Clarkson and Bruno Ganz. Patricia Clarkson is Kristen Scott Thomas's best mate, and Bruno Ganz is his life coach she's been seeing.
I love that cast.
It's great. They're all really good as well.
They are.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, shit goes down. And I'm just going to leave it there. I will say, the trailer has Timothy Spall saying, "I have an announcement I would like to make."
Yeah.
And then it goes on from there. It's quite twisty turny. It's very much people being hypocritical and people being called out on it, and a very middle class bitch fest. But it's also funny in spots. There is a character who is a lot more sympathetic than you think they would be. And the ending, the last 10 seconds or so are fucking amazing.
Right.
And I actually said on my Letterboxd thing that I thought it was a bit of a one watch, but thinking about it, I actually really, really, really want to give it a rewatch based on that last 10 seconds, because that could actually really skew everything. So yeah, really well acted, really, really well performed. Black and white cinematography, which captures the weird, how the fuck is Timothy Spall so thin now? Crevices of his face. So well. I mean, the Emily Mortimer Cherry Jones bit is maybe not as interesting as the rest of it, but it's only 71 minutes long, so you really can't give it too much shit for that. And Bruno Ganz is just this weird, subtle bomb who just kind of fucks shit up unintentionally at points in the film. It's a really, really good time.
Well, I'm getting up for that this week. So I actually very nearly went to see it at the cinema when it was out.
I wish I did. I really wish I did.
Yeah, and it was one of those where I kind of remembered it existed, but kind of forgot at the same time, in the sense that I remembered that I wanted to see it, but just
forgot to seek
it out. Yeah.
I've added it to our Netflix watch list, though. I know you like it when I do that.
Fuck off.
Literally, I finished watching this on the treadmill, had a shower, then went to see Black Klansman. That was a good few fucking hours.
That does sound like a solid few hours. I'm actually looking forward to watching that this week, actually, now. Well, I've got one.
I've just been watching loads of Game of Thrones.
You've been watching Game of Thrones, haven't you?
Where are you up to? Sorry, where are you up to, Bex?
Drogo's still alive.
Oh, so you're in season 1?
But he's got an infection.
Oh, okay, so late season 1.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Drogo is Jason Momoa, babe. He spends a lot of time with his shirt off. It's a nice time.
Yeah, don't everyone spend a lot of time with their shirts off in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but with a lot of them, it's not as much of a nice time.
I think that depends on which way you're looking at it from.
I don't know. Jason Momoa shirtless is a pretty nice time.
It's pretty nice,
fucking hot, not gonna
I'm
lie.
fine with Jason Momoa shirtless.
I'm digging his weird, war paint eye makeup situation as well.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
He is, isn't he?
He's a good-looking boy.
Strong eye game going on,
Yeah, I've got a strong eye game.
Yeah, so the one film I watched was one that Becky didn't want to watch. And one of the ones that I've suggested it multiple times, and every time she's gone, no.
It looks a bit dry. It looks like a Thursday night movie, and you'd always suggest it on like a fucking Friday or Saturday. It's not a Saturday night movie, Mark.
Well, I watched it.
What the fuck is it?
I watched it on a Thursday, late morning, early afternoon.
Well, that's fine.
What the fuck is it?
It's the Stephen Gargan movie Gold.
Oh, all right then.
Now, the thing is about this film is it's got Matthew McConaughey, Edgar Ramirez, Bryce Dallas Howard, Corey Stoll, Tony Kebbell, Stacey Keach, Bruce Greenwood. You look at that and you're going, right, that's a hell of a cast. It was slated at one point to be directed by Michael Mann, I believe.
Gosh.
And it bills itself as like this hedonistic, almost like Wolf of Wall Street gold fucking scandal thing that took Wall Street apart in the early 90s. And that's really fucking interesting. You know, that's a really interesting story. And the stories that these are based on are kind of interesting. And they add a lot of kind of stylistic sort of flair to it. The problem is, it's just not that interesting a movie. Because what kind of happens... you've seen this, haven't you, Ian? Yeah. What kind of happens is that Matthew McConaughey's character, he works for a mine. His family own a mining company, and his dad has helped build that company. And then his dad dies, and we flash forward like 10 years, and it's gone from being not a huge company, but a stable company, to being one that's being run out of a bar, and it's a bit of a fucking joke. And McConaughey has gone from being the sort of the bright young thing, slightly riding on his father's coattails, but having a charisma with it, to being slightly overweight, balding, and basically an alcoholic who's a joke within the business. And then he has a dream of where this gold is. In Indonesia. So it finds Edgar Ramirez's character, who has had a big strike in minerals where he's discovered copper, I think it was.
Sorry, just to clarify, it comes from in a dream?
Yeah. And so he finds him, and they go, and they get this mine, and nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden, fuck it, they find gold. And we are all spoilers all the time, guys. I know we don't usually spoil stuff with... what we've been watching that much, especially on newer movies. But the whole film kind of ticks along of the pull and the push is people are trying to take it away from him because it's a joke, and he's obsessed with it despite the fact that he should just take the money. And he's like, no, I won't get this. And it turns out to all be bollocks. And it goes too quickly from that. And while you're watching it, you're going, right, everything, all the drama that's been built up in this is nowhere near as dramatic as the film would like you to make you think it is. And the character does come across as a bit of an idiot. And they're all idiots. And it ends up becoming what, on paper, should be a really interesting and fucking banging sort of like 8 to 9 out of 10 movie, to being a kind of, that was fine. It's fine kind of movie.
I'm really glad I didn't watch it with you now.
And it was just, it was fine.
It was fine. Killed some time.
Yeah, all the characters in it.
Fine.
No, they're all arseholes, with the exception of Bryce Dallas Howard's character, who, despite the fact that he never treats her like shit at any point or anything like that, but he does underappreciate her a little bit. But she still fucking chews out Corey Stoll to a magnificent level. In one really great scene. And I will say that I think that the only kind of shine light in the film is Bryce Dallas Howard.
She still has a stupid face.
She has a very pretty face, and you leave her alone. So what did you think of it, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, and like you say, it's fine. It's one of those ones where you kind of like, well, should this be getting Oscar attention? Then it doesn't. And unlike films like Hostiles, is a key example for me. I, to be honest, I think that didn't get Oscar attention because it just didn't get picked up for distribution for fucking ages, and it was too late to mount the campaign. But with Gold, it was just like, it just doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, it's quite simply just not good enough.
No. I mean, McConaughey, he does the kind of like the physical transformation shit, but it's I don't know. Like, I forgot Corey Stoll was in the fucking thing.
No, the McConaughey thing, no, he put on a lot of weight for it.
Did he?
Well, he puts on some weight for it. A lot of weight for Matthew McConaughey.
He drank quite a lot of beers and probably enjoyed that whiskey that he supports quite a lot for a bit.
And tries to keep his mouth shut on political views because he doesn't want to be pointed at.
As actually, in the live Q&A thing after Black Klansman, it was really interesting. Spike Lee was very, very pointed in saying there, by not saying anything political, you're making a political statement.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, really fucking interesting comment. Anyway, McConaughey.
Interesting guy can Spike Lee when he wants to be.
Sorry?
He can be a very interesting guy when he wants to be, can Spike Lee.
Oh, he was fucking brilliant. Clive Owen was in the audience. Seemed just like he paid for a ticket and went to the Q&A. And it was brilliant because they were talking about... somebody asked him about the dolly shots that he does and like riding the dolly, and he was like, "Well, someone here is ridden the dolly actually, Clive Owens," and he called him Clive Owens multiple times, and it's like, has Clive Owen just been so gracious as to never correct Spike Lee that that's not his name?
But would you be surprised if that was the case?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, like, fair play. Like, Clive Owen was like dressed down as well. Like, he looked like he'd just been for a run. It was fucking amazing. Like, and he just kind of stood up and like clapped at Spike Lee and then sat down, didn't say anything. It was like, right, you actually seem like a good dude. Anyway.
Yeah, it probably is. The Gold. Yeah, it's not one that anyone should rush to see. You were quite well. You were right, Bex.
Thanks.
Yeah, you were right.
I am usually right.
Yeah, you are.
All right, steady on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think if we wait any longer on the Meg, Ian might actually forget everything that's happened.
To be fair, that's easily done.
She's coming.
Oh boy.
It was the largest shark that ever existed.
Thought to have been extinct for 2 million years.
The thing's out there. We need to find it and kill it.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
So The Meg, directed by John Turteltaub, starring Jason Statham. I am still baffled by the fact that that's directed by that man. Jason Statham, Lee Bingbing, which sounds like I've been offensive, but that's her name.
Yeah.
Ray Wilson, Ruby Rose, and Cliff Curtis. I love seeing Cliff Curtis in stuff.
At one point in this film, Cliff Curtis does something eerily close to a moment in Sunshine.
He does. The thing is, do you know why I love seeing Cliff Curtis in movies? A, because Cliff Curtis is great in movies, but B, because it always reminds me of that scene where he's on the balcony with the thing through him in Bringing Out the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic scene with all the... You'll love that scene, Ian, because there's fireworks going off in the background.
To be fair, that is an easy way to get me hard. I have never been harder than when John Travolta was fucking like cradling Nancy Allen with the fireworks around him. I often ask Donna to reenact that shot.
As you get lots to hold sparklers behind you.
No, I wasn't talking. I was talking in a bedroom situation.
Oh, okay. Well, then you definitely don't want lots holding sparklers behind you on that one.
After we're done, I just say it's a good scream. Sorry.
So the Meg.
I'm not cutting that out. Anyway.
Jason Statham plays Jonas Taylor, a magnificent name. The fact he's called Jonas is so
then
odd.
Taylor.
Yeah. Who is a rescue diver who, at the beginning, he is rescuing some people from a nuclear submarine that is at the bottom of the trench, I believe, or is it just at the bottom of the ocean somewhere?
I think they mentioned trench.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of a trench in the ocean. As he's rescuing people, it is the man in a trench. You know, he starts hearing things hitting the side of the hull. Managed to rescue most of them, but some of the people who are helping him rescue these people are still in there, and he has to seal off the hatch to get them. And this consequently gets him fired, essentially, because one of the people says that he was suffering from pressure sickness.
The bends.
Is it the bends?
Yeah.
And so that happens, and then we fast forward a number of years, 5 years, I believe it is, and Rainn Wilson's mildly eccentric billionaire is funding this underwater research.
Mark, this synopsis is taking way too long, mate.
I feel like we should.
It's
really
the Meg.
All right, big fucking shark. Ian, what did you think of the Meg?
Sorry, it's the Meg. It's Jason Statham and a shark.
But there's so much more to it than that.
But is there?
No, there isn't.
Exactly.
Ian, the Meg.
I was a bit disappointed by it, to be honest. It's very 12A, where it needed to be 15/18. Especially towards the end in the third act, there is a scene with the Meg encountering a large group of people, and it doesn't really feel like all that much happens. Sorry?
There's some nice overhead shots of that bit, though.
Oh, there are some nice overhead shots, but it's all, but I don't know, like, you want some crunchiness. There's no crunch.
Yeah. Not enough people die for you, do they, Ian?
Well, no, it's just like, if it just had a couple of people dying horribly versus maybe people dying horribly, but you don't really see it, that's all I'm after.
Yeah.
I don't know, it felt restrained. I would have liked this to have been a bit more Piranha, but not Piranha 3DD.
Yes. I see what you mean on that one.
Statham's decent. He gets to show off his fucking Olympic diving pedigree, which is a treat. He doesn't punch the shark,
which is disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the film is stupid, but you want it to be so stupid that he punches a shark, and it never quite gets there. Even though, then again, it does have Rainn Wilson throwing explosives in the water to try and, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was, like I say, I was disappointed. It
feels a little bit like it's confused about whether it wants to be Jaws or Sharknado, and so it just kind of somewhere in the middle.
Well,
it's not stupid enough, but it's too stupid.
Yeah, that's it. It's my feelings of it. I enjoyed it, but it doesn't do what it says on the tin, and the tin being the trailer.
Yeah.
There's a lot less of shark tormenting beach, and a lot more of scientists tracking shark.
Mm.
And I think that the movie that they were selling was Shark Attacks Beach, and the movie that they got was Scientists Track Shark. And it almost feels a little bit Corman-esque in that sense. In the fact is, we've got a cool poster. It's called The Meg. We've got a hook, which is a really big fucking shark. We've got a name everybody recognises, and we've got a fucking cool trailer. Mm. There we go. That is literally everything Roger Corman made a career out of, and that's how he made movies. And it was, do you know what? The actual movie is immaterial, because once you've got them there, they've already fucking paid to see it. And so there is that. And although that's not exactly what this is, there is an awful lot of that. But I had fun with it. However, when you make a movie and Ruby Rose is one of the most straight characters in it,
yeah,
then you're looking at going, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, the script was weird as well. There's some bits of the script and it's just like, it's really clunky and cheesy or just stupid. Like the only example I can think of at the moment is there's a bit where she goes in the water, doesn't she, Ruby Rose, and she gets out and someone asks her, what happened to your hair? Well, her hair's wet, and she goes, what happened to yours? And then that's fucking it. Well, her hair, clearly she's just been in the fucking water so it's wet, and his hair's just his hair. And it's a really, it's one of those lines that makes you go, what were they getting at with that? I don't get it. And there's too many cheesy Jason Statham smiles to camera.
No, there's never enough of that. But also, as well, that guy who is basically LL Cool J out of Deep Blue Sea, that guy there is complaining, saying, so why are we going on this? Why do we have to come out this? Why couldn't we have stayed on the thing? It's like, hang on a minute, you're the rover driver, and the rover isn't there anymore. It's gone. Why the fuck did you go?
Yeah.
It just seems like he just went just to make up the numbers. They should
have actually said that, and then just be like, oh shit, why am I here? And then just cut to the next scene.
Which would have been fine. But it does seem a little bit.
Movie, the line, why did you come? Then you could have stayed on the station. FOMO bitch would have been fine because the script was that bad.
But it does seem a little bit like they've gone, we've got a big shark and we've got Jason Statham. Do we need anything else? And the problem is,
yeah, you do.
You kind of do a little bit. Yeah, you do. You don't, but you do.
But it is. I mean, it is a fun watch, and probably will watch it again. It's stupid enough that you could just bang it on when you're hungover on a Sunday morning and watch it.
It falls in that category of movies that I wouldn't turn it off if I turned it on while I was hungover, but I wouldn't put it on.
Yeah.
If I put on Sky Movies and it was on Sky Movies Shark, whatever it's going to be for that, what is it? And it was on, I'd go, fine, and I'd watch it. But I wouldn't necessarily scroll past it on Netflix and go, ooh, the Meg. Yes.
And was it just me, or was the size? I mean, I know there was two of them. There was Mini Meg and Big Meg, but was the size wildly inconsistent?
Yes.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
That's fine.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Ian, it is just a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, the trailer promised so much.
Yeah, it's... What did you just say?
Are you peeing?
Maybe.
Yeah,
motherfucker, did you... I'm leaving... No, I'll leave it in. I'll leave it in. You called me out on it. You might have just heard a splash right at the end there, where I unmuted the mic a little bit earlier than I was planning on.
The thing is, with this movie, Jan de Bont was rumoured to be directing at one point, and that feels more apt for this movie. But it's just, I don't know, Jason Statham doesn't punch the shark, and he should punch the shark.
I mean, he stabs it in the eye.
But he don't punch it.
No, he doesn't punch it. You are right.
And he doesn't tell it to fuck off or anything like that.
Oh, you see, that's the thing. If Statham had just told the shark to fuck off, I think I would have been able to deal with it. I wish you wrote them, Meg.
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Ian?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Disappeared for a bit there, mate.
Can you hear me?
You're back in the room.
I was being a bit too cavalier with my drink guessing. No, I mean, like, I wish you wrote the Meg, Mark, was just what I was saying there.
Me too.
There is some decent shots in it. Like, that's what I mean. It's not bad enough to be truly, like, it's not bad enough to be shit. There's some good stuff. Like some of the shots of the shark are really good. The shot where the octopus gets hold of her thing and is punching her, that's good. There's some good bits with Statham. It has redeeming bits, but just not.
It's like the fact that he's Jason Statham. I'm loving it. Oh yeah. Bex was just saying that she liked the fact. Well, you've got
the scene where he's just got out of the shower and they just gratuitously own the fact that they're using that. They're getting that in there. She's drooling over him, walking past the window, having another look. They actually comment on it. Well,
Yeah.
You should get dressed now. Yeah, I will. Off you go then.
You don't often get scenes of people marvelling over Jason Statham either. For like all the films he's in, like he has been a romantic lead in quite a lot of them, but it's never like look at Statham, which is a bit harsh because Jason Statham is a very, very good looking man.
Yeah.
And I think you might have just picked up Donna saying no there.
He's a very fine physical specimen, though, isn't he?
He is a fine physical specimen. He was an ex-Olympic diver, Don.
Is he a nerd?
Sorry?
Is he a nerd?
Is he a nerd?
Mm.
What, Jason Statham?
Yeah.
No, he's an ex-Olympic diver.
Oh, that's why I'm interested.
Oh, that's why you're not interested in him. Okay, alright, that's fine.
Have we got that much else to say on the Meg, then, really? Because there's not an awful lot that goes on in it, is there?
I genuinely don't. It's like... It's a film where I'm a week and 5 days away from it, and it's just like, I don't think I'll ever watch it again. I'd be stunned if I did.
I might watch it again, but it's not one that I'll be clamouring to watch again, is what I'll say.
Mm.
I wanted that York to get eaten.
You wanted the dog to get eaten?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little bugger survives, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He swooped for an awfully long time, though.
Yeah. It would have died of exhaustion before I got back to the boat. Stupid little thing. I'm a fan of Yorkies.
Oh, I gathered.
I think it's because, just to clarify, I'm not like just a Yorkie hater. My Nana and Grandad had one when I was very young and he was mean. That's
Cool.
where it comes from.
So you take an experience with one particular specimen of something and equate that to how they all are.
Yeah.
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 Alright, that's interesting.
It's a bit like dog racism, that.
It is a little bit. Well, no, he was like properly mean though, and it was formative years. He used to bite, and they're just. I always assume they're a bit snappy and snarly and mean.
Yeah, it sounds like dog racism. So the Meg poll, definitely not shit, 50%. Touching cloth, 0%. Shit, 25%. And Geostorm, 25%.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't think it was shit per se. I don't really think it was Geostorm either. But I think it was more than touching cloth because my time with it was fine. It was all right. It just Jason Statham doesn't punch a shark.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely not shit because I don't think it's shit. I just don't think it's the film they advertised.
Mm.
No, it's. I would say definitely not shit. I enjoyed it enough while I was in it to say definitely not shit.
It feels like the weakest consensus, definitely not shit, that we've maybe ever had on the podcast, though.
Yeah. It is, yeah. It's a film that's fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think expectation kind of maybe is taking an edge off it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I expected more more of a rip-roaring fun romp, and what you got was a bit of a steady ride.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that?
The Alpha. They went at him. He put it down. Whatever that challenge was, the Alpha put it down.
How are we going to deal with this?
We kill him. One at a time. Tip the numbers. That's what they're doing to us.
So, on to our retro review, which is of Joe Carnahan's The Grey, which stars Liam Neeson, Frank Grillo, Dermot Mulrooney, Dallas Roberts, is it?
Yeah.
Am I saying that name right? Yeah. It's also got Joe Anderson and James Badge Dale for a small amount of time. So The Grey. So what is it? You've got Liam Neeson, his character works in Alaska. They work on an oil refinery, I think it is, or an oil drilling plant. Yeah. It's an oil drilling plant, isn't it? It's an oil drilling plant, and he is employed to basically as a marksman to keep away wolves from attacking the workers, essentially.
The wolf murderer. A wolf assassin.
That's not what they call them, I think.
No, but...
and they are all going for essentially like leave, you'd assume, away from it, on a plane, and the plane crashes and leaves these men as survivors. But what do you know? They've crashed in the middle of a wolf pack's patch, essentially, territory. And the wolves are pretty pissed and are trying to pick them off one by one, and they've got to find, essentially, a way out. You know, it's a pretty bare-bones story, but that doesn't mean to say it's a bare-bones movie. Ian, we'll go with you first on this again, because obviously me and yourself have both seen it before. Becky has seen it before, but I think might have fallen asleep.
I haven't seen it before. I haven't seen even the first 5 minutes of it before. You're imagining shit.
Nah, I don't. Ian, The Grey, have you rewatched this since you first watched it? Or...
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yes.
Pardon me. Sorry. So, it's. I think it's a very special film. It's a film that just feels like it's a survival tale which cinematically is reaching in just how visceral it is, but also the emotion of the film is just like I think is pretty fucking flooring. I actually found intensely upsetting towards the end this time around, where he's kind of asking God, like, do something, you know, and it's just the way that the shot is composed of, like, the trees. I think it's like the trees on the left and then just the clouds on the right, and it's just like the nothingness of it all. And it's I don't know, it's a film that I think genuinely makes me question things about how I live my life and how I deal with my time and the people around me, and how maybe at times I don't appreciate those I have around me as much as I should. But then it also ends with Liam Neeson becoming Liam Neeson Wolf Puncher, and that's not flippant. It's just like, it's just very in my wheelhouse. But it never not takes itself seriously, and quite rightly. It's I genuinely think one of the unheralded films of American filmmaking this decade. You know, I mean, obviously it was both our number ones, Mark and I, but it doesn't really feel like anyone really talks about the film. It's, I don't know, for me personally, it's how I feel of Sunshine for the noughties, where it's just that But then again, that film does people do seem to be coming out the woodwork saying, well, actually, Sunshine is Danny Boyle's most underappreciated film. I would say that for Joe Carnahan, and I think it's a shame because Joe Carnahan is a filmmaker who it feels like he's almost ghettoized in terms of the stuff that he's allowed to take on as a cause in filmmaking. But I think The Grey shows him to be a more substantial filmmaker than that. And maybe he's happy with where he is, and I certainly hope he is. But I think The Grey points to more than that. It's a very, very special film, I think.
Well, I think with the production company he's got now, with War Party, that he has with Frank Grillo, they're essentially... He said that they're going to try and do more stuff like Narc, but also he wants to do stuff like The Grey and things like that. He wants to do the movies that kind of he grew up on. And he said, "I'm unashamedly, I want to tell very masculine stories, but in the same way somebody like Sam Peckinpah or Walter Hill tells masculine stories. Not saying I would want to make films about men doing men things." He said, "I want to show the absolute brutality and I say it a lot on the podcast and stuff like that, but he also wants to show that fragility of man from there as well." And The Grey is a magnificent example of that. But before I go into what I think of it, what do you think of it?
Yeah, just following on from your themes of like man, but also showing the fragility is, obviously after you get past a certain point, you've got Liam Neeson being all manly and leading this group of guys and trying to get them to safety, and it's easy to forget until it points it out again later in the film when I think it's Henrik points it out to him that he's been pulled out of this really, really dark place at the beginning where he goes outside to essentially kill himself by a sense of duty to the guys that he's protecting from these wolves, and then from the situation that they are put into fighting for survival, a survival that a day previously he didn't want, but he's doing it to protect them. So, it's easy to forget that there is that sort of added layer to his character, and obviously at the end of the film when it's made clear that his wife has actually passed away, he's not just mourning for a wife who left him. She died, and he sees that as her leaving him behind. And obviously he's dealing with a lot of stuff, but he's still striving for survival and to get these guys to safety. I think it deals with a lot of really heavy themes in, obviously, faith, mortality, the will and struggle to live. But then you've also got the element of it. There's a feeling of the thing to it.
Mm.
That kind of...
The isolation idea of it.
The isolation, the picked off one by one when they're separated from the larger group. And there's some fucking brutal bits in it. There's some awful, imagery when people die.
And I think also as well the fact that it's the coldness and the speed of which these people die. They're literally there 1 minute and they're dead the next, and there's no time to mourn or anything like that. You have the Dallas Roberts bit where Henrik, and he's basically saying, "Look, we should say something."
Yeah.
He's the one who's kind of going, "We need to say something. We need to do something. We can't just walk away."
Yeah.
But knowing that actually that's exactly what they have to do. They have to just walk away.
Well, no, because obviously with that bit he does, doesn't he? He says something, and then the young kid gets killed on the way across to the forest, and it's like, "Do you want to say something?" And he just turns and walks away because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, but
what more can I say? It's that kind of hopelessness, isn't it? And I think obviously in the scenes where the wolves are at people, it gets very up close and personal with what's going on with them, with them eating people. It's all jaws and biting and blood and crunching, and it doesn't sugarcoat that at all. There's no sort of music to hide it. It's just that, and I think that adds to the bleak atmosphere of it, obviously. And I think the only death in it that really affected me was Henrik's, because I think obviously he was the last one apart from Liam Neeson, wasn't he? I don't like a drowning death, not when it's done realistically.
No, I think out of it, it sets itself out very much that these are not nice people. These are not.
Yeah, they're not the good.
They're not good men who've got in a bad situation. The film actually tells you these are the low end of men who that's the reason why they're doing this job. But then you get the idea that Henrik might be the slight. He might be the more. He's probably one of the upper of those people. He's not like Frank Grillo's character. He's not like.
Yeah.
There's something more to him.
Yeah.
Certainly, with that.
And obviously, just prior to that, he's asking Liam Neeson how he is and like, what were you doing that night and blah blah blah, and trying to get him to open up, and I don't know. Yeah, he seems like the best of them. And I think by that point, when he got to that point where he died, there'd been so many others. I'd just got to a breaking point with it, so I had a little cry. And
then you've got like, I think Frank Grillo's death is.
When you see him die, though,
you don't. But it's a point moment where he basically says, "That's it. I'm done."
There's an audio kind of cut there, though, isn't there? That kind of sounds like it might be something.
Oh, that the snarling sound just puts
it's the whole with Grillo there, and you've got Henrik can't really understand it for him, but
he's got something to go back.
But Liam Neeson does.
Yeah,
he doesn't try and talk him out of it.
No,
he completely understands what's going on because it's not. Because I think Henrik still believes that they're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Liam Neeson does. I think he thinks that there's a possibility they might, and that's what they've got. That's what they've got to chase. But Grillo's just, do you know what? I don't have enough to fight anymore. I've run out of fight, and the turning around, looking at it and going, "That's it.
It's not going to get any better."
Does it get any better for me than that? This view, dying here, having done this, is the best death I'm going to get. Not just in that situation, ever. That in an odd point, that the fact that he's got there and the fact that he's got to that with these people, for him, is the odd high point of his life.
Well, yeah, he has a bit of a redemptive arc as he's going through.
He does, and it's mental that is it. But that's where it's showing you that. We get the mirror imagery of when you hear the big snarling wolf earlier in the movie when they first get to the first camp, and then you hear that big noise, and also what was that? And he says it's the alpha taking down the beta, and then 10 minutes later, Liam Neeson takes Frank Grillo's character down with relative ease.
Yeah.
And that's the mirroring of that. And it's, I think like Ian said, I do think it's one of the great unheralded masterpieces of modern American cinema. In the same way as I think Hostiles is one of the great unheralded masterpieces of American cinema. And it's because
doesn't everyone universally like it?
It does, but we're moving through a time whereby a masterpiece has to be rewarded for it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of
and if it isn't, they can get forgotten about. And the fact that The Grey isn't available on Netflix or Prime or anything like that. And again, what I will say is I am actually kind of writing a piece this way. I'm also pimping my own piece that I'm writing, but it does make sense. Is where we're getting to the point now whereby, because everything is streamed and the way we consume films is what we can get available, literally at the touch of a few buttons, without having to pay for it because we're paying these subscriptions. And the idea of, well, hang on a minute, if I'm paying $9.99 a month for this and $7.99 a month for this, why can't I get that movie and that movie? And we're almost losing the idea of finding movies if they're not available directly beamed to us. And so it's all very good refinding something refinding its feet on a streaming site. For instance, we got the reissue of something like Streets of Fire because of how popular it was on Netflix. But we're losing a whole raft of movies that might not get spoken about because they're not available as part of our package, and people don't go out and get them.
This is my. I mean, I know we're getting a bit off track here, but this is my issue with paying for stuff like Prime and Netflix. And I've said this to you before. I don't like my choices being curbed like that.
Well, that's
you've got all these movies to choose from, but what if I don't want to choose one from that? I'd rather pay or to buy or rent something on iTunes than watch it on Netflix and have a choice of everything rather than what they've got.
But then you're even boiling that down to something with iTunes. What's available on iTunes?
Yeah, I miss the days of going into HMV and just going around.
We all miss those days.
Yeah, but then there was so much there, and you'd find hidden gems.
You're eating it in my article.
Sorry, babe.
But yeah, you are. You're completely right. It's there's that thing, and fuck it. Let's eat in my article a little bit, right? That thing of going into a HMV or a Virgin, or I don't know what it is in the US, a Target or a fucking whatever they've got out there, right? And the thing is, previously people might have discovered these movies by going in a 5 for 30. That's exactly what I was about to say. In a 5 for 30, because they're bored and they've bought fucking Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and they've gone right. I've got 3, but I've got these 2 extra ones to get. What's that? Fucking Liam Neeson fighting wolves. Fuck it, yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah.
And they've gone for that, and they've gone, that fucking 80s movie. Yeah, fuck it, I'll throw that in, and you bought that. Whereas we've got what we have on Prime, we've got what we have on Skynet now, movies and things, and we've got what we have on Netflix, and we can buy things on iTunes, but you buy them as a singular.
Yeah.
Now, if they had a selection on iTunes, and like, look, you can buy these movies at $7.99 each, or you can buy 3 of them at £20. Bang, 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 process it through. Select them, bang, process it through. Or these are all a £5, or you can get 5 for 30.
But then they only put on stuff like that, the things that they think there's a market for. So you're not going to get.
Well, that's it. And that's what I'm saying.
Sorry, just to carry on. I obviously was digging around in the loft the other day to find the Buffy box sets because Isabel wanted to rewatch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and looking through the boxes of DVDs we've got up there, there's some really fucking random shit that is awesome. There's some really awesome.
And I guarantee they were 4th and 5th buys and 5 for 30.
5 for 30, yeah.
But and the thing is, we also as well. We're now not us, but films become classics because when they first come out, the first way people enjoy them or get something out of it, and then they keep championing them, and then 2-3 years down the line, other people get on them, and they remain in the consciousness, and that's how they become classics. Is something that has remained in the consciousness for that long as being universally accepted as this is a great movie. The problem is now you've got a whole generation who think that a good movie is what has a fucking decent rating on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb, and it is nonsense. The amount of great, genuinely fucking brilliant movies, and not just movies that I think are great, and I'm an idiot, that have 6.5 out of fucking 10 on IMDb, and the amount of just utter blockbuster shite that has 8.2.
Yeah.
And it fucking the worst fucking words in modern fucking film. I don't want to say criticism, but rating are certified fresh.
Yeah, well, yeah, true that.
Fuck, it's just... it's... If you judge your and I know I'm shouting into an echo chamber on this because the people listeners don't, but if you genuinely judge whether or not you're going to watch a movie by whether or not it is certified fresh on fucking Rotten Tomatoes, then fucking hell, for Christ's sake, then you're the sort of person who thinks that your fucking burger at McDonald's is going to look like that fucking picture.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a good point there. I mean, the amount of great movies that we've sort of not discovered, because obviously we're not pioneers within it, but like the amount of great movies that we've brought home and watched and gone, do you know, that was really fucking good. One that springs to mind, and it always does because it's a classic example of it, is I'm a Cyborg. We would have never. That's not on anything.
Nope.
And that's a very weird little movie, but it's fucking mint.
Yep.
And that was bought in a 5 for 30.
Yep.
You know, the amount of world cinema stuff that we've bought that just isn't. I mean, it's just not on any of the streaming services.
No, and there is a shame on that. I would hazard to guess that some of that might be on something like Movie.
I know, but there's only so many you can have.
It is a very good argument. But the thing is, I've always liked about Joe Carnahan as a filmmaker, and I think that without question, The Grey is his best film, is that he does have an idea of how to pitch fragile men, and he tells a great story of groups of men, and paints them, and he can paint characters as being both sympathetic and arseholes at the same time.
Yeah.
Grillo is a prick in this, but by the end of it, you feel something for him. You've maybe not warmed to him, you don't maybe like him, but you see a chink of humanity in there, even if he outright is telling you that he doesn't have that chink of humanity.
He's a great actor, though. He's Frank Greer.
Yeah, he is. I honestly, it went up in my estimations, and it was already really high. I think it is an incredible movie.
I'm just ashamed it's taken me this long to watch it, because I'm guilty of it. Judged it off the trailer. The trailer looked boring.
Yeah,
stupid.
It really is a remarkable movie. Have you got anything we've done on The Grey?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah,
Ian.
I'm feeling very, very, very low about being digital only after this conversation. I'll say that.
You want to come and dig around in our loft, Ian? We've got lots of DVDs.
And in a few weeks we're going to have a lot of videos in there as well.
Yeah, God. We're going to have to get a VHS player. I think your old VHS player's up there still.
I think it might be, yeah.
See if it works.
What I will say there is, Noel, if you're still listening, if I do find the RoboCop cartoon on animation, on what is it, on VHS,
there, I think.
Yeah, I will be winging that to your good self.
It's just Shape of Water is £20 on 4K Ultra HD disc, and you can get it for a tenner in 4K on iTunes. It just
you went out of it there, mate.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Shape of Water, £20 on disc for 4K. It's a tenner on iTunes in 4K. Hello?
It's that thing, innit? I don't buy physical anymore, and I get tempted every so often. But the way I'm looking at it now is, and again I'm reading my article, is I'm going to relax my views on what I buy on iTunes and start looking at those $7.99 catalogue titles and going, do you know what? Fuck it. If I want it, I'm going to buy it.
I do miss the wall of DVDs we used to have at our old house, though.
Yeah.
And it'd be, right.
But I like this cleanness of not having them on.
Yeah, I do.
That's
but,
it.
We had tons, didn't we? And picking a movie for us was, right, pick a couple of letters and we'll pick something out of that. And
yeah,
because it was all alphabetised, obviously, because Mark is Mark.
Well, it would have been the same.
And it was, do you know what? And it was just magnificent. I loved that wall of DVDs.
It was. It's a real wall as well.
Yeah. But it's all still up in the loft.
It is all still up in the loft, yeah.
Sad and just up there in boxes.
I know, don't depress me. But the grey, Definitely Not Shit was 92%.
Fucking right.
And Touching Cloth was 8%.
I'm really, really glad you liked it, Bex.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was, like I say, the shades of the thing. It was very, very deep, and it was very. It's just a masterpiece, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and as well, reminds me that Dice Roberts is great in everything he ever is in.
Which one's that?
He played Henrik.
Oh, yeah.
He's always good in stuff, but always really understated, in the sense that when you go back and watch a film that he's in, you'll watch it and go, holy shit, I forgot he was in this. And then by the end of it, you'll go, he was fantastic in that. And you'll forget that he was in it next time you watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just putting it out there. I choose to believe that Liam Neeson killed that alpha with his bottle hand and his fucking knife hand, and he was just laying there having a little rest, and then all the betas are going to come back, and then they're going to adopt him as their new leader and like lead him to safety. That is what I choose to fucking believe. That happens at the end of that movie.
And you're fine to choose to believe that. But also as well, the badassery of just a man that's gone through all of that, taping a knife to his hand and a bottle, and then smashing it, and then basically just going, just growling and
come at me, bro,
and looking at it like the. Do you know what? You might. I'm not winning this, but there is no way that this is going down fucking easy for you.
Yeah.
It's
such a good ending.
I wish the post credits wasn't there.
It's an odd one, isn't it? It is, but it's just fantastic. Yeah, thank you, Joe Carnahan.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And of course, as well, it makes me watch the A-Team just because Joe Carnahan and Liam Neeson, the A-Team.
I started making a little list of stuff discussed during the podcasts that I want to watch over the following week. Do you want me to add A-Team?
Yes, add A-Team.
Yeah.
Which I have on iTunes.
I'll watch
Do you know what's in there so far? Bond movies. Point Break, and the one I want to watch that you were.
What?
I want to watch Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
Why not? It's a good film.
You don't like it?
I know. I do like it. It's had its. I'll rewatch it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. Had its time, its place, and it ran out of credits for me. Is what I'd say.
I think, to be fair, to be sort of full disclosure, the trash site BuzzFeed, one of the writers on there has been doing like a retrospective of films that she loved when she was young that she's not seen in 20 odd years, and Romeo and Juliet was one of them. And just reading her thoughts on watching it as an adult now just absolutely made me fully nostalgic for it.
What else was in her list?
10 Things I Hate About You.
Fine, yeah.
Scream.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find one. God, what else did
So
she
she's a filthy millennial then.
Well, no, because I'd say she's probably like those are films that we watch.
I know, I was joking. I was being.
Oh, so you're saying we're filthy millennials?
Well, not quite.
Yeah. But yeah, it just really made me want to rewatch it. And there's that shot, you know, where the first shot of Leo, where he's walking across the thing and he's all like bit windswept and he looks over to one side with that hair and oh my god, that angelic face that he had back when he used to be young.
Right, question. Last week's review of Terminal once more brought Matt's love of attractive, psychotic, on-screen women to the fore. What other character types / archetypes do the three of you enjoy and or alternatively loathe to see on screen? And that was from Rick Kidd at Rick J. Kidd once again. Go on then, guys.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with a loathe because I can't, with the exception of young female characters drawn by Hayao Miyazaki, I can't really think of one that I specifically love as just a genre of person. Loathe is uppity, self-absorbed white girl who thinks that the solution to her problems is cutting her fucking hair off herself in the sink. Fucking hate that.
Fair enough. Ian, what else?
I'm just grabbing a drink.
I'll be my own. Lord, I'm not sure that I loathe that much. Come on, Becky, you must know these. What do I loathe? Because like mine are pretty easy. Psychotic women and broken men.
Yeah.
You know that. I'm a man that has has very, very simple taste.
Specific taste.
Yes. There's very little fucking apple. A very shallow bubble.
Well, it's really hard actually, because considering you're one that hates a lot of things, I can't think of any specifics. You're quite
Children.
Yeah.
What? So the kind of trope that you hate in cinema is children.
Let's be generous and say annoying children, or just all children.
Most children. Yeah. Okay. Well, fuckers. Kia, what are yours?
I love crazy old men who try to tell the kids going into the bad situation that they shouldn't be going into that situation. Which, to be fair, Cabin in the Woods did a really good job of subverting. But I really enjoy crazy old men. I hate Charles Wallace.
Is he a genre of character?
He is. It's
Okay.
the kid who's been written and directed by someone who doesn't have experience with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely is.
I don't think whoever wrote that has ever met a kid, ever.
No, they've not met a kid. The only kid they've met is kids who went to stage school, and they're all twats.
And they're all Charles Wallace.
They're all called Charles Wallace, Prince. Can I also add, it might not be a character trait or anything like that, but something that I fucking hate in movies that really just...
Go on.
Is when somebody hasn't eaten for a while...
Oh, you absolutely fucking hate this, don't you?
And then get given food and they eat it all feral.
Oh, yeah.
And just start eating it with the fucking hands. And that's like, no. You would still use a fucking knife and fork if they are there. You wouldn't automatically just start going at stuff. It's
And it's all over their face.
Yeah, it's I hate it.
You do that, yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah.
It's the same as when people anything sticky in a movie, not either.
Anything sticky in general, or when people are holding anything.
People holding anything sticky.
Right, okay.
Yeah, or when people jump in a pool in a movie, you always look at it and go, their phone's fucked.
Yeah.
Even if it's a film set in the 80s, you'll go, oh, their phone. Oh, no, they won't.
Well, the latest iPhone has waterproofing. You'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't trust it.
Set my fucking watch into water mode. Like my iPhone 8, it would be fine, man. You need to live in the future.
No, I'm a man happy living in the past.
The thing is, he's got a new iPhone, but he's still really precious about it.
Do not fucking touch my phone. Nobody touches Mark's phone apart from Mark.
No one touches Mark's phone.
I can't fucking wait. New iPhone.
Can I just point out, there's a reason why I don't let other people touch my phone. It's because literally everybody I know that has an iPhone has had one with a broken screen, and I'm, touch wood, I've never broken the screen on my phone, so therefore I don't trust other people.
Was the coffee table not good enough for
Well, it's veneer, isn't it?
Was it not? Yeah, did it need to be solid wood for
the
that
surrounding solid wood.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Okay.
Yes. What are we covering next week, guys?
Well, I kind of had a bit of a thought.
Uh-oh.
Well, you know how...
Black Klansman and Slenderman?
Yeah, no, but Ian and I both want to see Unfriended as well, and I think Unfriended would make quite a good double bill with Slenderman alongside Black Klansman.
Oh, fuck me. Oh. Game on. Oh, my.
Yeah?
Oh, my. Well, yeah.
Unfriended Dark Web, Slenderman, and Black Klansman. You up for that?
I can deal.
I have to just make sure...
Mark doesn't sound... Tumbleweeds.
He's not into this whole Slenderman thing, and he's in a fucking misery about it.
I'm just very well aware of the fact that...
That's 3 cinema trips we've got to fit in.
That's 3 cinema trips we've got to fit in, and I'm working 12-hour days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday.
Well, shit, man. Is it... Why could Becky and I just watch Unfriended? Is that a possibility?
Go to the cinema on my own. I've never done that.
You've never got the cinema on your own?
No, never.
Right, well, then we've got to do it now, then.
Oh.
So,
no.
are you guys going to do Slenderman?
You're not going to do Slenderman either?
No, I'll do Unfriended.
Oh, hang on, what?
I'd rather do Unfriended than Slenderman.
Well, shit, man. Why don't we could do Slenderman the week after? If unless like Becky going to the cinema on her own is now a mission.
I think it might be a mission, yeah.
And I really want to fucking see Slenderman opening week.
Right. So we will, in some guise, be discussing Black Klansman, Slenderman, and Unfriended.
We like. Yeah, all right. We need to check cinema times for Unfriended, though, because literally it's only playing by me until Sunday, and then Happy Time Murders replaces it completely. So before we commit to anything, you guys might want to check it's actually playing this week.
Yeah, it is. It's playing at least up till next Thursday, but they're all around 11 p.m. showings.
Yeah, well, that's not happening, is it?
Yeah, fucking, of course it is.
I could possibly do that.
We're out with that. Go to the pub and go watch that.
Are you serious? Nice.
I
all right.
probably do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Noise.
Nice. It's definitely a late night movie to watch as well, isn't it? 'Cause it was creepy.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, fucking A, I actually get an excuse to go watch Unfriended. I'm all good with that.
Cool.
I want to see that John Cho one as well. That new trailer makes it look really interesting.
Searching, yeah. That's out next week, I think.
Yeah, we'll do that as well next week.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. Nice. Right. So yeah, I think that's the end of our show.
Oh, I'm looking forward to next week. That's like it. Kind of feels like the first one that's kind of driven by Becky.
Yeah.
It is actually.
I'm really pleased.
It's all your wheelhouse.
I'm psyched.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening, guys. At Bexy Foz, at Damn L.
Damn Ian L.
Damn Ian L. At Dude Foz. Please check out the website. We've got some stuff going on there. Hopefully I'm still going to write an article that we've just decimated on this. What is it? Ian's written a review of Black Klansman, which I haven't read yet because I haven't seen the film, but I'm looking forward to reading once I have seen the film.
Hit us up on Instagram.
Watch Ian's unboxing on YouTube because that's interesting. I am going to start some gaming stuff on YouTube when I get a chance to do some.
I'm going to start some gaming stuff on YouTube when they fucking release a decent game on the PlayStation.
Fuck gaming!
Woo! Well, so yes, thanks for listening, guys, and we shall speak to you next week.
Bye.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. Stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing somewhere beyond the sea. He's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. Beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. Beyond the shore, we'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. Just as before, happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again.